Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to repair this broken hinge on this MSI GE76 Raider. Alright, so the hinge part broke off, and as you can see, it's kind of just sticking out here, okay? It actually was out before, like this, completely out. So I kind of just maneuvered the screen to get it in. Anyways, first thing we're gonna do, I don't know if this other side is also breaking, but we did have to peel up this, so you want to be very careful peeling this stuff up. I peeled up from the bottom because there's this plastic layer over the screen, and you don't want to peel that away from the screen. Even when you peel that out, you can see it's peeling away, but you want to be careful not to like put pressure on that and risk damaging the screen. So we're just gonna peel this up some more all the way to this side and see how this side is holding up, and this side is a little bit wobbly. This plastic was also breaking off, so we'll see. I don't know if that's actually broken physically or that's just designed to snap in and off like that. It looks like it's actually designed to just snap on like that. Okay, so I'm gonna actually check if these screws here are tight, the current ones, because we don't want to risk that coming out. So let me grab my screwdriver here, and we're going to be using a JS1 screwdriver, and let's just make sure. Oh yeah, these screws were coming loose. So usually what I find a lot of times is these screws come a little loose, and then when they're like that, it kind of pries out the plastic part a lot easier. And if you can see on the broken one, the plastic all got ripped out. So we're going to try and see if we can JB weld that into place. All right, it looks like the hinge is kind of solid to here. Hopefully it's not coming out. And also the screen all works. We tested that. Here you can see the prying out part when it was breaking actually damaged this stuff. So here you can see the screen actually works, so we should be fine. All right, so I'm gonna actually leave these little 2 screws in, but we are gonna have to lift this whole mechanism up. So let me actually get this shut down. So we're gonna turn this back off, and you want to use good JB weld, like the original JB weld. Don't use the quick weld stuff. That stuff kind of breaks really quick, so you don't want to mess with that. And yeah, let's go ahead now and continue. So we're gonna peel up this a little bit more. Normally I would just hold it up, like peel it up that little, and then I would put something in here to keep it from falling back down. But I don't know if I have something like that so I can do it to show you guys. Well, I guess I can use like this box maybe. No, that's too big. Okay, let's use this tiny one here. So we'll put this box in here just as an example to show you how I would do it. Okay, and then we're gonna have to use a little thin tool to flip the hinge up. So I guess we'll move that out of the way for now, but I'm gonna get this under there and kind of just rotate this hinge upwards. You want to make sure you're just flipping the hinge up and not like prying it. So I'm gonna get this in there, and then I'm gonna just rotate the hinge upwards. It's really tough to do this. Sometimes it helps to actually like close the screen so it kind of will sit in its natural place. So actually I can sit it this way, and then we can kind of like close the screen so that the hinge kind of goes in where it's supposed to. Okay, and then while it's doing that, you can kind of get your hand in there and then help pry it. So there we go. Now we have the hinge actually where it should be, but we're gonna open it more, and then we gotta take the little screw mounts off because these screw mounts, they're not strong anymore. They don't do anything anymore. So we're gonna take those out. We're gonna use needle nose pliers, and we're just gonna grab the little screw mounts on the back there, and we're gonna undo these screws. We're gonna throw these away pretty much. Okay, so the design of this is these hinges, they're too weak. They make them too small, and they put all the leverage on just a few screws. So this part here, sorry, closer to the outside, it's really hard to see. Let me see if I can show you guys after. But first let me take these 2 screw mounts out so we can get everything set. Okay, so this one's a little tricky. Let me open the hinge up a little more. Okay. Alright, so we got the screws out. Again, I just toss those little screw mounts because they don't do anything. They break too easily. All right, we're gonna use a toothbrush here, and we're just gonna kind of clean it up a little bit. Close the hinge a little more so we can get in there with the toothbrush and kind of just brush the whole thing out. And then I use this little air blower to kind of blow any loose particles on there. Okay, so once we've cleaned that up, we're gonna check and make sure these screws are tight over here. So 3 of them are kind of like holding in place okay. So let's see, actually this screw mount is really bad. So let's actually take that 3rd one off as well. So I'm gonna get in there and grab that piece and screw it. Okay. Yeah, we can't have these broken screw mounts in there. Let's see. Okay, got that screw, almost lost it. Well, I don't really need those screws because we're removing them. But anyways, we're gonna, I guess, tighten these 2 then. Okay, so this one and this one actually tighten and stay in place. So I'm gonna let you guys see this in a bit. Let me tighten it. Okay, and let's go ahead and now flip this over so you can kind of see how it's holding. So we have this here now, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill this area down here with JB Weld, and the JB Weld is gonna hold the hinge into place. All right, so I'm gonna close this up, and then that way I don't know if you can see, but now I can actually pinch the hinge together with that, and then we can rotate the whole thing with the hinge. So now you can have it like in place properly. Okay, obviously I'm gonna have to adjust it later because I don't think this is sitting completely right. And this design, because they make it stick out weird, it's gonna be a pain. I don't know if it's gonna, I might have to take out the whole plastic and everything of this one, but we'll see. All right, so we got that, and it's kind of holding. Let's see what the other side looked like again. And that side, yeah, it feels like it's popping up more over here. But let's see. Okay, we're gonna mix up a bunch of JB Weld, and then we're gonna go ahead and glue that together. And we're gonna use some thin plastic as well to kind of shield it, so that way when we put this thing on top, it's not gonna get clogged with the JB Weld. We just want it to hold in place. Okay, so JB Weld, the real kind, is this black and red tubes. One part is white, one part is black. So let's go ahead and get that. All right, so I usually start out with the white portion because it's thicker, it's less, it doesn't like start shifting everywhere. And then I have like these screwdrivers I actually just use for this, but you can use anything, toothpicks or whatever works for you. All right, and we're just gonna squeeze out a bunch here. Okay, that's probably more than enough. So we'll just get that on there. Okay. And we'll clean that off here. All right. Okay. I gotta clean this because I don't want the JB Weld getting all over everything. Right, now we'll switch over to the black one. Hopefully I made enough. Maybe it's not enough. Well, we'll find out. All right, we'll squeeze this out. And you want about equal portions. Okay. We're gonna fill in all the gaps where those broken screws were. That's what this stuff is. And because this thing solidifies really solid, it can act as a gap filler and will allow me to fill up the empty space where the screws used to be. Okay, so we got this. We're just gonna stir the 2 parts together. I use another screwdriver for this specifically. Again, you can use whatever you want. Popsicle sticks, I don't know, whatever you want to use to stir this stuff up. I have a million of these screwdrivers, so I'm just using it for this purpose. All right, so we'll stir it up, make sure it's nice and smooth in color, that there's no like streaking of different, like the white and the black. You want it all one even gray color. Okay. Stir that up. I like mixing on this clear thing because I can look at the back and see if it's all mixed, and it looks good. Alright, so we're going to set that down. This is going to be tough to kind of show on camera because I think I need to work on it sideways here. So I'm going to actually close the screen slightly with the hinge, and then we're going to open it up again slightly so we can actually get access to the back of it. And again, I don't know if I can really do all this, show it in camera, but I'll do what I can because this stuff is in the way. Let me try putting this box here and see if that will, nope, that doesn't hold it high enough. But anyways, I'm going to get the JB Weld all in this little broken gap area. Okay, so let me do that. Hold that up out of the way, and then we're just going to fill this hole, okay. And we're going to fill up where the screws used to be. We're going to get it down there as well. Okay. And make sure you don't drip it on the other areas of the computer because it's really hard to clean this stuff up. Okay, so we're just filling up this little gap or groove. I don't know if you can see that, but let me see, maybe I can zoom in more for you guys. Okay, just like that. Oh, I think a customer's here. Give me a second, I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's make sure to get the epoxy all in here. Also, you want to get the epoxy all along this back piece where the other one is supposed to stick. But I think, oops, I actually put too much. It's going to squeeze out the back now. But yeah, so get the JB Weld all in there. And I'm going to have to clean up over here because you don't want it to go onto this little piece. We're just getting it onto the hinge mechanism. It's hard to do this while trying to record it. So I'm going to open this up some more here and basically get the JB Weld all on there where the screw mounts are. Okay. And hopefully this will hold up really well. Spread some more of the JB Weld here. Most of it you kind of want to fill the little screw mount holes, and then we can also put the JB Weld on here. Okay. It also helps if it's on this like actual hinge area. Because this is what takes all the stress, this bar that goes up into the screen. Okay. Alright. So get that all in there. Alright. And then the difficult part, we gotta now lift this whole hinge piece or push it into place and make sure it lines up right. So, sorry, I know this thing's kind of getting in the way. Make sure you don't get the JB Weld all over your hands. You have to move this stuff out of the way. Alright, so the easiest way for me to do this is to put it on its side. We're going to close the screen up, and then when this kind of lines up, we can go ahead and pinch the two together. So I'm going to pinch the two pieces together, and then we're going to open it up this way now. And I don't know if you can see, but the JB Weld is now oozing out through there. So that's good. Okay, and we got to keep holding this out of the way. This design is dumb because the back is extended further. So it's hard, I can't just lay this down on my desk. So it's going to make this a lot more difficult. But basically we have to hold it so the hinge goes in place. And then I'm going to have to put a piece of plastic wrap over this so that it will hold it down. Alright, so let me cut a piece of plastic wrap to put over there, and then we will continue. I'm gonna put this sideways like this. Now, I know it's hard to show this on video, I'm sorry, but it's not my fault, it's the stupid design. Alright, so I'm gonna cut a piece of plastic here. Then this is like the packaging plastic that kind of they use to wrap stuff and hold it together. But you can just use like plastic wrap for like food, the cling wrap stuff. Alright. Okay, so I cut a piece of that plastic film stuff, and we're basically just gonna wrap it or put it on top of the JB Weld so it doesn't stick to the other components that we don't want it to. So I'm gonna stick that in here, and then let me show you what it looks like. Okay, so I gotta hold this in place now, and here you can see I just smashed it down on top of there, and now we gotta get this plastic piece on top. So this goes on this way, and it lines up and clicks all into place. So we got to make sure to hold this all down. Okay, and then while that's there, we got to stick this whole thing on top, and we're going to basically close the hinge back up. So now that we have this all lined up, we can go ahead and stick this piece back down, this whole frame. Make sure everything is all lined up. Make sure this is all pushed into place, and we're going to try and work this to close it. Okay, and the closing will make sure that everything is lined up the way it should be. So try and hold that closed, and then I'm going to use this, and I got a leverage to push this to close it. So push on the back here and close that just like this. Right, and hopefully, see, there's some JB weld that leaked out there, so we're gonna have to clean that up so it doesn't stick between the two layers and then cause it to be stuck. So I'm gonna use this paper towel here, and I'm gonna use my really thin pry tool to just shove the paper towel in and kind of work it around in there to clean that out. And you can see we got the JB weld out. You can get it back in there again and just continue. Make sure it's all cleaned out. And the problem with this thing is once it sets, you're set. You're not going to be able to move it around. So you want to try and make sure it's as lined up as possible, but that's going to be tough. All right, so I'm going to get this tool in here and just try and keep it all lined up. Okay, and just push on it. And hopefully it will set properly. It's not going to be 100% perfect, but it will be a lot better. So I'm just kind of like trying to guide the plastic in place with this. So this is kind of, yeah, I can see it needs to have some force in there to keep it in the right place. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is to this. It's kind of like every time one of these things break, it's different. It's a different fix for each one. So it's not like you can just follow along with this. And it looks like the customer, they put some glue on this. I was wondering what that white stuff was. I think they tried to tape the hinge when it was initially breaking, and then it just completely broke. So anyways, that's pretty much it. You just got to let this thing set now for 15 hours. And then hopefully once it's completely set, when we open it, it will be good. All right. Other than that, that's pretty much all there is to it. Hopefully it helped. Thanks for watching. If it did, again, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their device as well. And if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. The other thing here, we do have to take this plastic wrap stuff out after, so maybe I'll leave this setting for 15 hours and I'll see you guys when I go to remove it. All right, so see you guys then. Oh, one other thing I forgot to mention, I'm going to actually wrap this with some tape to keep it from moving around. So let's go ahead and just get some long pieces of tape here. Okay, and I'm just going to cut some long strips of tape to kind of wrap around to hold it in place. So let me do that here. Let's see if I can just tear it this way. Okay, so we have this long strip. I'm gonna just wrap it like this, and then we're gonna wrap it over this way so that way we can keep pressure pulled down on here. And we're just gonna wrap this there and like that. Okay, and we're gonna do a few pieces of this just to keep it aligned a certain way. Okay, so we got this one. We're gonna wrap this side as well. So we can stick this over here, wrap it around, and then just wrap it this way. All right, and this should hopefully prevent it from coming loose. We're gonna go again one more time with this side, and hopefully it will set in the proper position. Okay, So there we go, and that's pretty much it. All right, I'll see you guys in about 15 hours. Bye for now. All right, so let's go ahead and open this thing up and see. Hopefully the hinge is all good now. So we got all this tape on it that we were using to hold it in place. We can take this thing out. It shouldn't be holding anything anymore. Let's peel this all up. Hopefully we'll have a good working hinge again. Peel all this out. Okay. Alright, so here we have the screen. Let's actually zoom out some here. Oops. Okay, oops. Don't need to zoom out that much. Alright, so here we go, and moment of truth. It opened well. Alright, so now we just got to peel off this plastic thing that we put here. So we'll peel this layer back up, slowly, carefully. Okay, just like this. Okay, and okay, so we got that out, and you can see this plastic thing, we can still remove it. Good, and now we can peel this plastic off and we should be good. So we'll just put this little plastic piece back in. Okay, just like that. It clicks into place. Stick this back on top and we're good to go. All right, it's not as smooth and flat, but I mean it got all messed up from when the hinge broke originally, but yeah, other than that it's good. We can push all the adhesive, make sure it all sticks down, and we're good to go. The hinge works perfectly. All right, so that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, please make sure to like, comment, share this channel with others, subscribe, and if this video helped saved you a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. If you can't help out that way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and then comment and like those as well. All right, I'm gonna try and clean off the old adhesive residue that they put on here from whatever they were trying to tape it with before, and that should be pretty much it. Usually this kind of residue, I think they probably used duct tape. That kind of tape leaves a lot of residue. All right, so yeah, there's all this like goopy stuff stuck here, so we'll clean that off and we should be good. All right, clean that off. All right, there we go. All that goop is cleaned off and we should be all set. All right, thanks for watching and I'll see you all in the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.